loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Brian.
And we are coming to you from inside the Comic Crypt in Eatontown, New Jersey, with a book review.
A spirit-lifting, feel-good story.
Yeah. We're talking about dead dads. We are
one of my favorite topics of conversation.
Yeah?
I'm an expert.
We're talking about Talking to My Father's Ghost, an almost true story by Alex Krokus, published in 2025 through Chronicle Books. It's a weird one. This is something I saw in the catalog where I was like, it looked interesting. And I got a couple copies.
It's something I wish he hadn't seen, because it's not interesting.
It was alright.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it wasn't... It was alright. It's not a typical graphic novel. It's not a long narrative, complete story with 6 issues or whatever.
No, it's 70 Sunday Funnies comic strips stapled together.
Yeah, but they're...
The longest any thought is 4 pages. I think one is 4 pages.
Yeah, Yeah.
But the others are all 2 pages.
They're like little vignettes in this dude's life.
Yeah.
Starting from when his father is in hospice dying of lung cancer, and then dealing with the funeral and the aftermath of the death and him processing the death of his dad.
Books like this make me mad because people pay for them.
Why?
Because, you know how many people have the same experiences?
Right, but how many people can articulate it into a story?
With dogs and raccoons?
Yeah, because animal people are the best way to get things across.
Yeah.
It is the best way.
Sure.
Come on. Escape, Black Sad. Animal people make it easier to digest.
It's a large family. It's got extra characters, but what we have is the mom and the dad is Jeanette and Jeff. Jeanette is a raccoon, and Jeff is a owl.
He's an owl, yeah.
Right. Hard to tell. When they do younger panels of Jeff in his youth with the blonde mullet.
He's got the mustache.
Yeah, he looks like a different kind of bird. Not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite now. And they have 2 sons. Gerard, who is kind of like a bro dude.
Yep.
He's the slang, that modern late 90s, early 2000s slang. And Alex, Gerard is a bear, because apparently Jeanette was fucking the mailman. That's not part of the story.
No.
But Gerard's a bear for no apparent reason. Mm-hmm. And Alex is another raccoon. And Alex is the main character. It's told through his perspective.
There's no doubling up on animals, as characters, other than Alex and his mom.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just random stuff. So it has no bearing unless there's some other, meaning within.
What about the cousins? Were the cousins both cats?
I don't think so.
The ant was a bird.
There was a bunch of ants.
One of the cousin was...
One of the ants is a dolphin. And
the cousin that towards the end, the cousin that not the cousin, the ant. The ant that wasn't invited to the funeral, but was invited to the ashes spreading ceremony.
I think they're all birds. But, one of her sons is a turtle. So,
There's a cat, too. There's definitely a cat.
Cousin Jessica. Cousin Amanda's a rabbit.
Okay, so it's a cat and a rabbit.
Yeah.
And their mom with, a goose or something.
Yeah, but they put a whole family tree in the... Well, he puts a whole family tree in the front of the book.
Yeah,
which is
okay,
cool.
It's too big.
Yeah, but unnecessary because there's a bunch of characters in here that we don't ever see.
Yes.
I think he put this in here just for his family.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
Just hey, you made my comic. But there are 6 chapters in the book. It's how many pages is it? It's a couple hundred pages. But it's such an easy read.
201?
It's 201 pages, yeah, of story. And there's a little backup thing of how he made the stuff. He's got photos of his family.
Yeah, 201 pages, and other than the characters and their names and the synopsis of what the overall thing is about, I didn't find anything of note until page 65, where Alex is talking to his dad about whether there are toilets in heaven or not. And it was the first thing in the book that made me laugh. The humor does come as the book proceeds, but in the beginning it's very matter of fact and very upfront.
I don't know. I think the humor is there from the beginning.
Not for me. Like I said, page 65, and it was toilet humor.
Yeah. So the idea of the book is his dad dies, and they're at the funeral, and while the eulogies are being given, Alex starts seeing his dad's ghost, and then from there he starts interacting with his dad's ghost, and the whole book is him talking to his dad.
Conversations with his dad.
Yeah. No one else can see him. No one else knows he's there. It's just Alex and his dad talking.
And it's normal stuff. Like, it's really, really normal stuff. Like, asking about family members and regrets and stuff like that. Like, it's really just, like I said, just matter-of-fact stories. Like, I might have experienced half of this book and didn't need to read it because I've experienced it. Like, it's...
I have not had to experience it yet. But it's a slice of life book in such just a vanilla way. Like,
Yes.
nothing extraordinary happens.
What was our last book review?
Our last book review?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was one year. Reborn? No, because
Not
Reborn just got released the week before we're recording this, so this is going to be
The
like
very
weeks after.
last one we did.
I don't. Hold on.
2 weeks ago.
I can check the list. Give me a second.
Only because there was something in it where they're like, I promise you, the humor's coming.
Oh,
like
Sex Criminals.
Sex Criminals.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it was. Sex
yeah,
Criminals.
yeah.
And for like the first 2 chapters, like, it's going to get funny. I promise you, the humor's coming.
Yeah.
That's what this was. So I'm like, is it coming?
I don't. It's because right off the bat, even like when their dad is dying, Alex and Gerard keep a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and their mom is just like, you guys are terrible. Like, and that's coming from their dad, because apparently their dad was had a one of those kinds of senses of humor where he just like he was a ball buster,
Because they have a sense of humor, which I won't argue they do. They keep spirits light. Mm-hmm. It's not funny. What they're saying is not funny.
But who's trying?
They're being funny to themselves. Like, in the moment,
Right.
you understand that they are having humor amongst themselves. I'm just not included in it because it was not witty.
This book is real life thrown on paper.
Yeah.
It is not trying to be funny.
Yeah,
It is
I
not
kind of wish it was, because it is not entertaining at all.
at all.
At all.
0.
0.
I was entertained. I enjoyed it.
Mildly. Like I said, page 65, toilet humor.
I mean, so the book starts with a little. There's flashbacks interdispersed within the book too, where we see like Gerard and Alex when they're younger, experiences with Alex and his dad when he was much younger. We get flashbacks to the hospital stays and stuff like that. But one of the first things we see, the book starts with a flashback of little Alex running and jumping on his dad in bed, and they're watching South Park. And his mom's like, "Hey, you got to compress. You're watching that show? Come on!" And the dad is like, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with it." And the mom just goes, "Oh, my poor corrupted son." And like, they all have that like dirty South Park humor. I mean, they're not making South Park jokes in it. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, as people, it's not written to be a funny book. It's written to be this happened to somebody.
I
book.
understand that, and I wish
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
It would have been much more entertaining.
Okay. I found it entertaining. I enjoyed it. I was never bored reading it.
So, like I said, when it comes to the layout, like, these are done in like almost Sunday funnies kind of formats. You're getting like 6 panels to a page. The comics usually take 2 pages, so you're getting about 12 panels for a full thought or idea.
And they vary.
And they
vary in size.
Very dialogue light. So you're never going to get anything that's like truly high concept or anything like that.
Yep.
There are moments. Page 92 is Uncle Bob on the shore. They're having some kind of family outing, and he goes and he talks to his Uncle Bob, and they speak, and he goes to walk away from his Uncle Bob. They're on a beach. They're at the edge of the water, and Alex goes to walk away, and he's talking to his father, and his father tells him a story about how Bob, during a storm, had come and brought fuel for their generator because their generator was out of fuel. And he drove however far it was. It was like,
They live in Brooklyn, and he came from like Yonkers or something.
yeah, he drove out like 2
Yeah.
hours to bring them fuel so they had for their generator and stuff. And he said he never forgot that, and he always appreciated it. So Alex is like, "Well, do you want me to tell him?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can tell him." So Alex turns around and he said, "Hey, Uncle Bob, my dad never forgot that." And like, that was an interesting moment to me because you don't get that in the real life. You don't get to go back and be like, you know what, I should have thanked that guy. You know, so that was a cool comic book moment because it was something that wasn't a real thing. It was something that happened outside where it's like, yeah, I bet every fucking person on this planet wishes they could have gone back to tell somebody something.
Sure. Sure.
You know?
I mean, and there's some of that book. I mean, that's the fanciful part of the book is he's talking to his dad's ghost, and he's getting all this inside information about stuff he's learning. So that happens in chapter 2, or chapter 3. I'm sorry, and the title of the chapter is Family Knowledge, and it's just a bunch of like him going from family member to family member, like in, you know, like parties or get-togethers, whatever, and asking how they deal with like grief.
I think that was another part of it, like that chapter in particular, because he does go to family member, and he goes, "Hey, how do you deal with grief? How do you deal with loss? How do you deal with this? How do you deal with that?" And nobody has good answers.
Everyone has a different answer too.
Everyone has a different answer, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Everyone has their own perspective on that. But no one has a really good, like, nobody imparts any wisdom to him that, like, strikes him like lightning. There's no, like, epiphany. And also, he follows up with a very obvious question. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Considering he is sitting there talking to one.
He asked everybody.
He has all of them.
Yeah.
And every single one of them shoots him down and says no.
It's like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wow, like for me personally, like I have the kind of family members that will bullshit you and lie to you and tell you they're spiritual because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's a default answer. You know? I was like, yeah, of course there's a God. What do you mean there's not a God? I was like, well, tell me why you think there's one. Because there fucking is.
Yeah.
No, that's not. No. So for me, it was very interesting that so many people in this story were just like, "No, bro, what are you talking? Ghosts? No."
Ghosts and God aren't like synonymous.
But spirituality.
Yes.
Spirituality.
Yeah.
Like it could be, you know.
I mean, from the God end, it's really hard for people to confront that in any meaningful way because you are just kind of brought up in it and you think, you know, that's how it is. It's just how it is.
Right.
Why would you examine it any other way? The ghost thing. It's funny that no one had it. Like, yeah, of course. I thought I had an experience.
My family were good people. I don't look down on them for any.
No, there was one person. We'll talk to it after you're done making this point.
Any quirks or whatever. You know, they were pretty good people. And there was an acknowledgement of religion without actual practice.
Okay.
So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, my introduction to like religion and CCD and was told that this is something that you have to be active about and practice and, you know, and then I looked at my family and went, so we believe this stuff?
Yeah, we don't do it.
But we don't do it.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm supposed to take away from this? And, you know, like, you know me so well that, like, you know, clearly we've mentioned before, I am an atheist, you know, so very young, I just looked at my family like, how do you believe in something you don't practice? Like, what do you...
Yeah.
No.
My family was kind of
And then
similar.
why would you lie to me?
My family was kind of similar, but while me and my brother were going to CCD, everyone went to church.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were going to CCD. After CCD, then Mass started, and then everyone would come to church. So, like, while we were learning about it, the family was practicing. Yeah. Because I think it was an effort to be like, okay, we all gotta do it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you're gonna sell this lie to your children, you better nurture it. Like, you better.
But soon after,
you don't just look at the people at the church and go, "Hey, it's your job. Make them believe."
Right. Soon after communion, it all just started to kind of like fall apart. We missed a Sunday here, we missed a Sunday there, and then we just stopped going altogether.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Very much similar experience. We're like, we're all Catholic. It's like, sure, all right, whatever you say. When's the last time we took communion?
There was 105.
Just before we move on,
This was something about asking advice.
I would say someone did mention that they believed in ghosts. It was one of his aunts. I think it was his crazy aunt. And she said, "Yeah, of course. Like in our house, remember, like our grandmother haunted it, and his
she
dad,
said her and the daughter saw ghosts all the time."
Yeah.
Right.
And he's on like FaceTime with her.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, bullshit. She's such a bullshitter.
The dad doesn't believe that's why I immediately condemned it.
Yeah.
But there was the friend, the dog, the family friend, and he's like, "Yeah, you have any advice for coping with loss?" He's like, "Yeah, don't bet on the horses."
Yeah.
That's the shit I would have got. That's the shit I would have got.
Right.
Don't play scratch offs.
But a lot of the
That's
like
not the loss I meant.
because his dad was like, he was a ball busting like man's man. Like he would fuck with you because it was funny.
Yeah.
And a lot of his friend group were like that too. So you get that out of the friends when he was interacting with them.
Yeah.
Just it's the little things that make this.
He also didn't seem like a great guy in a lot of scenarios.
I think
there was I forget
nobody's
what,
perfect.
Nobody's perfect. However, they mentioned the fact that he was overweight and wouldn't take care of his health and stuff like that. And that's a very real thing. People rather just eat what they want and live the way they want to live and then just fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be fucking 98 and have no fucking quality of life? But like, hey, I made it. Well, no, I'd rather fucking die when I'm 70 and fucking enjoy my life.
Sure.
But
he would binge drink wine.
yeah, right.
And it was a problem.
He binge drink. It was a problem. But there was also the thing with Uncle Bob bringing the gas for the generator. There was something else. They didn't have something else. They had to rely on the generator, and there was no fuel for the generator. It's like, oh, so you're wildly unprepared too. Like, you're not like one of those guys.
Yes, something had happened where it just wasn't.
But as I said, so
Yeah.
you're a guy who like relies on other guys. Who are those guys? Like, yes, I've got extra gas. Are you kidding? I've got extra. I'll bring it to you.
Since you brought up the drinking thing, one of my favorite lines that made me laugh out loud. There was a couple. So on 127, if you want to go there, they're talking about him drinking too much because Alex brings it up to him. It's like, do you wish you would have you would have ate better, you would have stopped the drinking? And he's like, I worked hard. He was an accountant. He owned his own business. He was an accountant. I work hard all day. I would do 10-hour days, and I would come home, and I have nothing to do. That was my hobby. Like, my hobby was drinking. And he's like, can you have other hobbies? He's like, well, for a long time, my hobby was my kids. And then my kids grew up.
Right.
I didn't have that anymore, so I started drinking. And then Alex is like, so you're blaming me? And for quote says, yes, son, I'm saying it's your fault.
Yeah. Also, the with the South Park thing, the bad parenting of exposing him shit he's too young to, and then disregarding the mother's wishes about it. Like,
It's one of those things where he doesn't paint his dad as the best guy ever.
Right.
He doesn't paint it like he gives a full picture of who he was as a person, like warts and all kind of thing.
The one thing I will say that this does really truly successfully is, like, there's no doubt or question that these people love each other. Like, this family is a good family.
Yeah.
Like, they seem like fun people, and because there's no dialogue and there's not a lot of development. There is a lot of people just being there for each other in the moment. Like the big brother is kind of douchey in his mannerisms and like his slang and like other people could think that he comes off as a jerk, but he's a really good big brother. He's there for him the whole time.
He's super supportive.
Right. They take the road trip, like, but at the same time also called him gay for reading Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a flashback. That was funny because there's a thing where
you're gonna trigger all the millennials right now. They said gay and they beat up Harry Potter.
So so Alex is bi.
Yes, that comes out.
And they have a flashback where it's Alex and his dad riding in the car. Alex looks like he's in his teens. Like, he's young, maybe like 13 or whatever. And his dad like turns on the radio and goes, hey, if you're gay, son, I'm going to love you no matter what.
Which is so weird because it was like, it's not with the stuff where later on he kind of goes, hey, you know what? I think I am a little, it's way before. And
right. His dad spotted it way ahead of time.
Right.
But I think Alex could like deal with it. And he's like, no.
Right.
And he really like, but his dad's that kind of person, like, hey, I'm going to, no matter what.
So here's a funny story. My little brother, when he was alive, he was a little awkward. He was socially awkward. He just didn't like... He was very sheltered, and he was babied, so he did not get along in the real world where, like, you go to school and people pick on you. Like, he was the kind of kid to cry instead of talk shit back.
Okay.
So... With those kind of characteristics for a while, my dad had come to me one day and he's like, he never talks to girls. And I'm like, he doesn't talk to anyone. He's like, I think maybe. And I'm like, listen, I was like, it's far too soon to tell. He barely has 3 friends. Like, how would you even know what he's interested in? Right now I know he's interested in the Power Rangers. Ask him if he likes the pink one or the blue one more. Find out,
sure.
Go that way, And something happened years later where they got into an argument, and as a punishment, my father took his computer away. And of course, he's fucking nosy, so he fucking snooped around on what was on the computer. And he told me, he goes, oh, he's like, by the way, he's like, your brother, definitely not gay. And I'm like, okay. It wasn't weighing on my mind if he was, but okay. I'm glad it is no longer a question for you. Do I really want to know why you know this? And he's like, well, I found a whole bunch of questionable porn on his computer. And I'm like, what do you mean questionable? He's like, well, he might not be gay, but I have other concerns now. And I'm like, oh my God, I got like barnyard animals. What the fuck? he's like, let me tell you, it was some sick shit. So that was funny to me. I was just like, oh.
But that's what this is why this story is good, because it is real people. All these people you can conceivably already have in your family or have interactions with.
Sure.
Because it is so real, and that's what it just sparks. Like, oh, I remember that. Or it just brings up shit in your own life.
Very relatable.
Yeah.
Maybe think of lots of instances and experiences I've had.
It's a family where the dad's Jewish, the mom's Italian. They grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's like everyone I know. Not specifically grew up in Brooklyn, but that kind of like New York.
There were moments of heaviness that you would expect from a story like this.
Yeah.
But again, everything's in such small doses. Page 130 is woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
And that was a big one for me because, like, I had that conversation with my dad while he was alive. And it was, do you have any regrets? And he immediately clapped back, no. He's like, I don't fuck with woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, what's done is done. And I will appreciate my father so much. We caught a bus together into the city. I was going to hang out with friends. He was going to work. We had just happened to get on the same bus. He came walking up behind me while I was standing on the corner. He's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to the city." He's like, "Going to work." So we had a nice long bus ride, and it was at that, like, I guess I wasn't afraid anymore. Like there's like a lot of intimidation with your parents where it's like, oh, I'm not going to ask them this, I'm not going to ask them that. At that point, I felt so comfortable with who I was and who they were that it was like, yep, gloves are off. And I asked them, I was like, you ever regret leaving mom? You ever regret, like, getting divorced when I was 4? Like, it wasn't great for me, And he gave me the most bullshit real answer. Because it was both bullshit and real. Like, honestly, it was the most honest answer I could have expected. But he was like, yeah, he's like, it's second nature to second guess yourself. He's like, you'll second guess yourself forever. Sure. You'll always look back at moments and go, oh, I could have done this. I should have did that. I would have did that. and in regards to that comic, I was kind of like mad at the dad. I was like, answer your kid honestly. Everyone has regrets. Don't do that. Like, because, like, having that conversation with my dad would make me readdress stuff, make me think twice before I just left something dead instead of readdressing it and regretting not going back to something, So I kind of got mad at that comic because I was kind of like, nah, man, like just because just because it's done doesn't mean you can't readdress the situation or have a different perspective on it or.
All right. Right, now I get what you're saying.
Like, I get what he was saying, too, is, like, don't waste time dwelling on the past. Like, that's definitely a thing. Like, you can't,
he said something almost directly to the effect. It's like, you're just going to waste your time. Like, why?
On stuff that you can't fix. But, like, perspective, to think about it. Like, why'd you respond the way you did?
Sure.
Why,
like... you bring up your dad. My parents also got divorced when I was 4. And my dad was in the military, so he was, off on deployment doing whatever he was in the Navy. So I didn't see him an awful lot growing up. Occasionally I would see him on summers. I never got to, like, have, like, a real relationship with my dad. So, like, seeing something like this is, like, it's just like, oh, that's cool. Like, to have that kind of relationship that I didn't get to have. My dad almost feels like an uncle more than a dad.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, there's no, like, animosity between us or whatever. Like, we're cool. It's just distant. There's no, like, there's nothing... I had a long struggle with accepting the divorce. Not in the moment. In the moment, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Sure.
At 4, I was a deliriously happy 4-year-old. Why would I have been anything other?
Well, you're 4. That's right, just the state
4.
of being 4.
And then all of a sudden, my dad's leaving. So, like, I didn't fucking get it, and that made me feel like more of an outsider than, like, anything. Like, I went to school, and all my friends, like, parents were couples. Like, no kids have kids. Your family's a divorce. So, like, that was the first thing to ever make me feel like an outsider.
Oh, divorce, for, like, half the people I knew in school, their parents were divorced,
Sure. By the time I hit high school, I was like, oh, who gets married anymore? Right. Just go straight to the divorce. Like,
yeah.
But it was one of those things, because, like, 2 weeks out of the house, he was with another woman, and like, you know, he was picking us up for weekends. Like, my dad was never absentee. My dad was never not around. He was there every weekend.
That's cool. You
I was
had
there
that
for summers, you know, but he was bringing me to this house with this woman. He was giving this woman dominion over me, which right away I was like, that's not my mother. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, what? No. You know? So I appreciate that, like, he was never gone. Like, it wasn't like completely missing.
Yeah, my dad was just gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe once, twice a year I would see him.
But like you said, summers or something, like I would have summers. I'd come out for the summer. But my dad worked. It's not like he was a school teacher.
Right.
So, like, cool. I came out to spend a summer with a strange woman for 2 months while he went to work every day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of summers, some summers I wouldn't see him. I would only see him for, like, particular holidays if he was home. Sometimes a lot of summers I would spend with, like, his side of the family, like aunts. I had a lot of cousins. I would, you know, go like Maine or Virginia or Connecticut, whatever. It was fun. But ultimately he wasn't around, so that's like, I missed out on having that. But I don't think I like necessarily like felt it, because all my friends growing up, again, children of divorce, you know, they were with their moms or whatever. They didn't have dads either. And like I had a big immediate family, so there was enough people there for me that I didn't feel like I was missing anything out. Like, my mom worked all the time, so that's a whole other issue, but I had my grandmother, my grandfather, my 2 aunts, my great-grandfather, you know, like, there's a lot of people around, so, you know.
It was funny, at one point he tried to spin it around on me. He was like,
it was your fault.
well, no, he said,
You made this happen.
He asked me if I had regrets or if I would do anything different. You know, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And this was when he was in the hospital. This is when he was dying. It was like, he asked me if I was happy.
Okay.
And I was like, "What's happy?" I was like, "Nobody's happy." I was like, "That's ridiculous." I was like, "What a ridiculous statement." And he was like, "What do you mean?" It was like a Freudian slip. And I was like, "I don't think I've been happy since I was 4." And he just fucking looked at me, like stone cold looked at me, and I was like, I said, I didn't not like that it was your fault.
Right.
I was like, not that it's your fault. And he's like, no. He's like, that's fair. And I was like, yeah. I said, just, you know, I wouldn't change anything. And he was like, what if you could make me not leave? And I was like, no, I wouldn't change anything. And he was like, why? He was like, you know, it seems like it's something that bothered you. And I was like, yes, it did bother me then. I said, trust me. I said, it took me many, many years before I had the perspective to look at you and Mom and go, oh, you're fuck-ups too. You're human beings.
Yeah, just people.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't necessarily that, like, you prioritized your own happiness over mine at the moment. Like, you're just flawed people. Yeah. Like, everyone's flawed. Like, that's fine. I was like, I forgive you. Like, that's fine.
Right.
And he was like, thanks.
And it'd be worse if you stuck around anyway. Like, those couples who stay together just because, like,
right.
It's just so toxic and awful. My grandparents were like that.
So I told him, I said, listen, I said, if you didn't leave, I said, I wouldn't have fucked up so hard. I wouldn't have got kicked out of high school. I wouldn't have been forced to move to Jersey. I wouldn't have found the woman I married. I wouldn't own a comic book store. I wouldn't, you know, probably wouldn't even be this state. I'd probably be still living in Brooklyn, taking the train and bus everywhere. I wouldn't have a license. Like, the whole world would be different.
Right, yeah. Like, it's the little things that, well, not the little things, but, like, everything has an impact, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it cascades, absolutely.
One of the other panels that I liked was page 152, Gambling Family. They talk about the dad's gambling. And he would play the older son, Gerard. And I forget how frequently they did it or whatever.
He had a surgery. He was stuck in bed.
Right, yeah.
And they were playing gin rummy for $1 a game.
For $1 a game.
Yeah.
And Gerard's telling the story, and he said, he's like, you know, like, I wound up owing him $200. And Alex is getting this story from Gerard, but, you know, having his father's ghost there, and his father, you know, was like, I owe him. He didn't owe me. I owe him for that.
Yeah,
like,
I owe him for the time that he spent with me.
Yeah. And that was like probably my favorite as far as like feel good, like warm things where the dad like is, because a lot of the dad comes off in snark when it's like, oh, this guy said this, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
you know? That's why I like the Uncle Bob thing. He's like, oh, that guy was there for me. Like, thank that guy.
But it's
like,
there were a bunch of moments. I didn't write anything in particular down that was like, this is like the most heartwarming moment, like kind of thing. But like, he is a good guy. He, like I said, he's a ball buster. He says some stupid shit, but you know, he's generally a good person. There was one story that made me tear up a little bit. I don't know why. It just caught me in the moment. But it's a flashback of Alex when he was younger and his dad making a comic book together. Like, Alex is, like, drawing the art and explaining what's going on, and his dad's, like, writing it into the comic. And for whatever reason, it hit me, made me tear up a little bit. It's just a cute little interaction between the two of them.
There's a weird subplot kind of deal where the father owns land he bought in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right? And Gerard and Alex, the two brothers, are like, we should go see the property.
Yeah. It's an empty lot in the desert, by the way.
Yeah, it's an empty lot in the desert. And then the mom's like, that's dumb. I don't want to. No, you shouldn't do that.
They both go, Mom's going to say this is dumb. And they go, yep.
Yeah. And she goes, it's dangerous. And it's the desert in the middle of nowhere. And you go camp. And later on in the book, Gerard reaches out to Alex and says, hey, we should do it. We talked about it. We should do it. Let's do it. And they do it. And
well, kind of.
They kind of do it, but
they never really get there.
They do it enough. They have
they make an effort.
Yeah, they get to like a neighboring property, and they can see the property from the ridge they're on. They get to watch the sunset over their father's property. So like they made it enough. They had the bonding experience as far as the two brothers are concerned. Like, I think the adventure was worth taking it. Gerard rents a car that only has two-wheel drive, and part of the trek is off-road, and they get stuck. And Alex gets mad and walks off, and he's just frazzled from the experience, and he's frustrated. And I think in this moment, maybe Alex is like becoming okay with everything. Like, maybe he wasn't prior, and now that he's like on the trip and whatever, because he has this moment where he goes, what if we die here? And then he looks up to the sky and he smiles. And I'm just like, well, I was like, I don't know if I'm looking too much into this, but I think like he's like, well, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
I have this guide from the other side. I'm having this experience now. I guess there could be worse things than to be a spirit.
Right, but yeah, I think that signals acceptance of death at that point, right? It's just part of the process is what happens.
Right. Yeah. So that was the last note I took too. It was just kind of, that was page 162, and still it goes on a bunch of pages. It goes to 201. But that was the last thing I felt like commenting on, where it was like,
There was this happens before the comic thing, and that one's that's on page 198. So that's just a couple pages before the end of the book.
Yeah,
it's called the first collab.
It's a weird place for that.
I think it's organized by like emotion and like what he's trying to cover versus like chronologically, right? Like it's
sure. Because if they had that like thread throughout the book where they worked on a comic together, it'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah. They shared that.
But just a little memory of what it was.
Again, too, like being delivered in little doses of memories. It's giving you reactionary in the same process.
But right before that, like, they're going through the process of, like, it's the year anniversary of his death. And they have, like, a little ceremony at the grave. I'm sorry, they take his ashes and they spread it on the grave of his parents.
Of his parents.
And one of his sisters is there, and she's spreading the ashes. And Alex goes, don't be shy, Laura. We've got a whole other bag of ashes at home. His mom said that. And then Alex goes, yeah, my dad was a big guy.
Yeah. And then she's like, your humor's terrible.
Yeah, it's just like your father.
And it's like, that's... Like, depending upon how comfortable you are with scenarios like that, and I make lots of off-color jokes about dead families because, man, I got dead family members.
Sure.
But, like, you got you have that's your comfort level, like, because you're coping. It's like, yeah, Dad was a big guy. I got a whole Ziploc bag of him at home.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have said that to people because I do. Like, people always have that, like, oh, we're going to dump their ashes in the ocean. And it's like, cool until you get that bag and it's a gallon freezer bag of grandma, and you're like, wait a minute, if I dump this in the thing, I'm making quick crete right now. Like, this is too much. I had taken some of my dad's ashes, and it was like a urine sample size cup.
Okay.
And I spread some at his father's grave at the cemetery in Queens. I spread some at the lake in Prospect Park, where he used to like hang out and go on dates with my mom. And I took some to Coney Island. and I still have so much dad left.
But by the end of the book, they kind of like they come to terms with it. Like the mom's selling the house. Everyone's cool with it. Even the dad's cool with it.
Yeah, there's
like,
no struggles.
Yeah, it's everything's like, yep, this is all feels right. This is what we need to be doing.
It's too much house for two people.
Yeah. It's I don't want to say it's a book about nothing, but it's just it's a book about a bunch of just points in this dude's life. And
it's how they used to advertise Seinfeld, right? It's a show about nothing.
Right.
It's a show about four people just living their lives.
Four shitty people get into stupid situations.
Yeah. I mean,
this is not that.
No, this is not that. But it's more of a descriptive of that, because Seinfeld's really about four shitty people inflicting their narcissism on New York City. But this is about normal people dealing with a normal thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another thread that runs through is Alex uses food to comfort himself. His mom's cooking cheese. He's doubling up on meals. Like you can see him struggling with the emotions and how he eats too.
Thank God I'm not an emotional eater. It's bad enough just being a bored eater.
But ultimately, for a book like this, I didn't think we'd be talking about it this long. So it's cool that we got this far. I enjoyed it for what it was.
For what it was a good read. It's just not what I look for out of comic books at all.
Yeah, it's not a comic book thing. It is a comic book format.
Yeah.
It is not a comic book. Yeah.
Because there's no panel that was like, oh, so epic. Like there was no.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like you said, your short little things, a couple pages maybe. A lot of them just feel like that's done already. Like it's just a quick conversation and it's just done.
Yeah, matter of fact, the only art panel I think I even stopped to look at is when they're watching the sun go down over the dad's property, and the ghost dad puts his arms around his son. Well, I mean,
that specifically was a double-page splash, so it's like that was special, in the book.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, it's the only one that stood out. I mean, yes, they took extra lengths to make it stand out, but other than that,
yeah. I'd say if you like that sort of thing, it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, I would say be prepared for it to surprise you. Like, if you get emotionally triggered by things, which, I always say if something emotionally triggers you, it's good. You can't deny that it's good because it made you respond to it.
But how so many things try to emotionally manipulate you. They try to play like plucking heartstrings and like playing up certain things. This isn't that. This is just natural. Where it's like you might pull something out of it, you might not. Something might have triggered you that didn't trigger me, kind of thing. It's all very just like this is real.
It's personal.
Yeah,
it's personal. It has to each scenario in it has to speak to you because it's a very straightforward life experience story. So it's only going to resonate if, in the beginning, dealing with him dying and the services, I was kind of bored. Kind of did not care for the first half because it wasn't until he started talking to his dad's ghost where the relationship, the bond came from. It's like, before that it was a guy reflecting on a dead guy. It was a son and father, but it's like, even the friends that were giving the eulogies, the one bird, the
penguin?
Yeah. It was like, hey, he was awesome. Hey, he was a superhero. He fought these guys. He did this. He did that. He was the best at basketball. He was the best driver. He was, and it's like, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I pray to God somebody remembers me with that much flavor and is like,
enthusiasm,
Brian was the fucking best, But I'd much rather have somebody be like, hey, who's really there for me when you needed me? Like, hey, he really fucking helped me out. Like, hey, that's the kind of shit. I'd rather be a Bob,
right,
than grandstand on that podium and to have me tell the world that I had a connection with him that no one else had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's it.
That is it.
So thanks for listening, especially this ramble on. I think this is probably the most personal one we've had.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because even anything else that has dealt with personal issues like dead family members or whatever has still had that element.
Right. Yeah. We had a narrative to focus on versus this is what this made me think of. Yeah. 100%. Thanks for listening and listening to all that. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do that at thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. Give us some other books to read. You have some other weirdo things, maybe not something like this.
After you stop crying, after you throw out all the Kleenex and stuff.
You can send those our way, and you can follow the store on Instagram and Facebook and see what trade paperbacks and graphic novels or whatever do come through the store. And I would say go read this book.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the rare issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova, sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone Gene from a jeans. Then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.
Like a flower that blooms in the spring. You were beautiful.